For over 25 years, we watched a 10-year-old kid named Ash Ketchum chase a dream that seemed impossible. We saw him fail. We saw him pick himself back up. And eventually, we saw him stand on top of the world as the strongest trainer alive. But here's the reality. Ash didn't accomplish any of that alone. While he caught hundreds of Pokémon over his historic journey, none have a story quite like his original Kanto squad. This isn't just a recap of wins and losses. This is the definitive roller coaster history of the Pokémon that built a champion. We're talking about loyalty so deep it defies logic, traumas that shaped personalities, and stories so heartbreaking they defined a generation. This is the complete saga of the original 6. Where else could we possibly begin? The true protagonist alongside Ash, Pikachu. To understand their bond, we have to look before they met, because before he was Ash's Pikachu, he was a lost and lonely Pichu. Abandoned by his original group because his raw electric power was volatile and dangerous, Pichu wandered the wilds, scared and alone. In a desperate moment, he collided with a swarm of wild coughing, leaving him poisoned and clinging to life at the bottom of a ravine. This is where fate stepped in. He was found and taken in by a mother, Kangaskhan. Instantly, he was part of their family, bonded so deeply that he viewed the infant Kangaskhan as his own brother. It was a beautiful, safe existence, but it carried a devastating secret. Mother Kangaskhan are biologically predisposed to raising only one baby. To keep Pichu, she was putting herself in mortal danger, splitting vital food and resources between 2 growing children. And Pichu started to notice. Realizing he was a burden on the family that saved him, Pichu made the ultimate mature sacrifice. To save his brother's life, he would leave. Waving a silent goodbye, it was this intense rush of conflicting emotions. Profound happiness for his time with them, mixed with the utter grief of leaving, that triggered his happiness evolution. The lonely Pichu was gone. The Pikachu we know and love was born from a heartbreak we never knew he had. Now, fast forward roughly 6 years. It's Ash's first day as a trainer, and because he literally slept in, his only choice is a leftover Pikachu. We don't know what trauma Pikachu endured between leaving his family and being caught by Oak, but he is not the creature Ash expected. He's cynical, overweight, useless, and he absolutely despises Ash. Their very first adventure on Route 1 ends in a disaster. A wild Spearow attacked, and when Pikachu easily defeated it, it called the entire flock to arms. These weren't normal wild Pokémon, they were killers. Even though Ash had just met Pikachu, seeing him so brutally jumped was enough to trigger his unwavering instinct. He had to protect his Pokémon. Pikachu, still too stubborn to accept Ash's help, is overwhelmed. He gets knocked unconscious. Ash pulls him from a river where they briefly cross paths with a very unimpressed girl named Misty, but the relentless flock is closing in. Ash steals Misty's bike, showing a ruthless level of dedication for a new trainer, but they crash in the rain. Cornered, wounded, and terrified, Ash sees no other choice. He begs Pikachu to get in his Pokeball, promising him that if he just survives this, he will never have to go inside it again. Ash turns to face the deadly flock alone, ready to give his life to save his partner. And that's when everything changed. Seeing this absolute suicidal loyalty from a human shook Pikachu to his core. He didn't get in the ball. He used Ash as a launching pad and unleashed the kind of overwhelming, overpowered electrical blast that only a former Pichu who mastered unstable power could deliver. He fried the flock and Misty's bike, but when the smoke cleared and they saw the legendary Ho-Oh fly over a rainbow, Ash and Pikachu were no longer a trainer and a starter. They were locked in for life. This mutual respect became the core of Ash's identity. It fueled them through defeating Brock for the Boulder Badge thanks to some strategic sprinkler activation, and Misty for the Cascade Badge. But that unbreakable bond was about to face its darkest test, an existential nightmare that questioned if staying as a Pikachu was actually a form of weakness. Their identity crisis came in Vermilion City against Lieutenant Surge and his brutal, fully evolved Raichu. Pikachu got absolutely bodied. Surge laughed in Ash's face, calling Pikachu a worthless toy and stating that true power only comes from evolution. This hit Ash with the hardest choice of his life. After Nurse Joy handed him a Thunderstone, the only way to evolve Pikachu, Ash put the choice entirely on his partner. This wasn't Ash's team, it was their team. Pikachu, in an iconic display of character, slapped the Thunderstone out of Ash's hand. He wouldn't win by changing who he was, he would win by proving that who he was enough. By understanding that Surge's Raichu had sacrificed speed for power, they executed a perfect counter strategy, proving that a Pikachu could be superior to its evolution. This solidified that Pikachu would never evolve, a decision that has become core to the franchise. The theme of refusing evolution actually leads us directly to the next member, the hidden leader, Bulbasaur. This Bulbasaur wasn't found in a Pokeball. He was the self-appointed protector of a sanctuary for abandoned and injured Pokémon. His history had given him what can only be described as severe PTSD. From his perspective, every human interaction in the wild ended in either pain, abandonment, or capture. He viewed human presence as a disease, and he was the cure. His leadership skills were unmatched. He even set up a complex trap designed to kill the group, showing a level of intelligence that terrified Ash and Misty. But seeing Ash and Pikachu put their lives on the line against Team Rocket, a group representing the worst humans, to protect the sanctuary, it cracked Bulbasaur's armor. The manager, Melanie, realized this was the bond Bulbasaur deserved. She gifted him to Ash, and after a short battle to prove his strength, he became the team's first official starter. Bulbasaur's narrative arc is complex. At first, he found safety with Ash, forming an emotional bromance with Squirtle, but he was always haunted by abandonment issues. This responsibility became tragic. Bulbasaur knew he was approaching his biological point of evolution, but he was terrified. Seeing how Charizard had become an emotionally broken, arrogant brat after evolving, Bulbasaur believed that evolution meant losing his connection to Ash. When he was forcefully pulled into the evolution festival of a Venusaur King, Bulbasaur accomplished something previously thought impossible. He willfully resisted biological forced evolution. He wouldn't become an Ivysaur if it meant risking the person he cared about. Ash's acceptance of this choice and his apology for pushing evolution on him showed a crucial step in Ash's growth as a trainer. Bulbasaur even learned Solar Beam at an impossible level to defeat Team Rocket and earn the respect of the Venusaur King. Bulbasaur's ultimate end on the main team is bittersweet. He was so good at being a mediator that when he returned to Professor Oak's lab, it was painfully obvious that he was the only one capable of keeping the peaceful balance there. Ash and Oak made the heartbreaking decision. The best thing for Bulbasaur was to leave him at the lab, fulfilling his original destiny as the ultimate peaceful leader. He found his purpose, but at the cost of his travel spot. And that brings us to the most complex, tragic, and iconic narrative in the entire original squad, the legend of Charizard. This is a story rooted in the kind of abuse and mental resilience you usually don't find in children's media. Ash found Charmander abandoned on a rock in the rain. Skeptical that a trainer could be so evil, Ash learns the ugly truth. A horrific trainer named Damien had intentionally ditched the Charmander because he considered it too weak. Charmander was clinging to life, its tail flame, which correlates directly to its life force, nearly extinguished by the rain and a vicious flock of Spearow. Even after Ash, Brock, and Misty save him and Nurse Joy brings him back from the brink, Charmander runs away to the rock. He had Stockholm Syndrome. This kind of brutal reality in the Kanto season defined the stakes. After Charmander uses an incredible flamethrower to save Pikachu, the spineless Damien witnesses this power and tries to gaslighting him, claiming the abandonment was all a test. But Charmander saw the lie. He rejected his tormentor and joined the trainer who nearly died to save him. At first, this was a dream partnership. Charmander was so dominant and gained levels so quickly, he could effectively solo every other team member combined. This is where Ash's incompetence failed him. When they reached a city of Executor, Charmander defeated an entire field of them in one go. This overwhelming EXP dump forced an immediate evolution into Charmeleon, and the innocent, loyal relationship instantly dissolved. Charmeleon now viewed Ash as pathetic. He deemed him an unworthy trainer, because Ash didn't have enough gym badges to control a Pokémon of his power level. Charmeleon became a rebellious, violent nightmare, nearly killing a trainer's Paris because he wanted all the smoke and only saw enemies. This trauma from his old life made Charmeleon feel that connecting with a human was a weakness. This ego only got worse when Ash was literally kidnapped by an Aerodactyl. Charmeleon didn't evolve into Charizard because his friend was in danger. He evolved because the Aerodactyl swatted him aside, hurting his massive pride. The new Charizard was a terrifying, uncontrollable beast on the team, only respecting raw power. This was proven in Cinnabar Island when he saw Blaine's Magmar stop a volcano. Charizard viewed Magmar as his first worthy opponent, and after defeating him with a seismic toss inside a volcano, he earned the badge. But still, zero respect for Ash. Which leads to the single most devastating moment in Ash's Kanto career. The Indigo League Top 16 against Richie. Ash's team is beaten. He has one choice left, his powerful, defiant Charizard. And Charizard looks at Richie's first stage Pikachu and goes, "Nope, this isn't a strong opponent." Charizard, on the biggest stage in the Pokémon world with millions watching, chooses the nuclear option. He refuses to battle and goes to sleep. Ash Ketchum was eliminated from the Kanto League, not because he was defeated, but because his strongest Pokémon refused to acknowledge him as a leader. It was humiliating, but Ash Ketchum has a heart too pure for his own good. He didn't abandon Charizard. He didn't treat him any differently. He was patient. This pays off in the Orange Islands. Charizard gets brutally frozen by a powerful Poliwrath, suffering a major humiliating defeat because of his own incompetence and arrogance. But instead of focusing on the loss, Ash stays up all night, using his bare hands to keep Charizard warm. This act of sacrificial parental love from Ash broke Charizard's pattern. He realized Ash didn't care about the wins, he cared about him. The next day, they battled together for the first time, not as a defiant beast and a kid, but as partners. This unleashed the dominant, unstoppable Charizard that went on to conquer the Orange Islands and the entire Johto region. His final arc is equally complex. Ash and Charizard go to Cherisific Valley, a training ground only for the most elite Charizards. Here, Ash's ace is the weakest Pokémon in the room. He gets banished from the valley, and Ash realizes that the only way for Charizard to become the best in the world is to stay there and train with other elite masters. To save his partner, he had to leave him. He left in tears, but it was for the greater good. Finally, let's talk about the original gang's comic relief turned leader, Squirtle. Like the others, Squirtle wasn't a conventional catch. He was the abandoned leader of the Squirtle Squad, a group of vandals and pranksters created because the Kanto region apparently has a devastating epidemic of people abusing or ditching their Pokémon. They were a threat to public safety, but only because human society had completely failed them. The Squirtle Squad ties up Team Rocket, who tricked them into trusting them by claiming Meowth is the leader. This highlights that Squirtle viewed all human connection as slavery. Seeing an opportunity, Team Rocket manipulates the Squirtle Squad to ambush Ash and tie up the whole gang. This turns into a kidnapping case with actual bombs involved. Pikachu is kidnapped, and Squirtle only releases Ash so he can go buy an antidote for Pikachu. In a rare display of integrity, Ash buys the cure and runs all the way back, despite Gary literally kicking him out of the store and despite the original season weirdly featuring actual gunpoint robberies in the same episode. This integrity resonated with the Squirtle leader, but Team Rocket returns and starts using bombs, causing a forest fire that threatens the entire town. Ash and Squirtle are forced to team up to save Pikachu from the blimp. This acts as a proving ground for the rest of the Squirtle Squad, who pull up and use their unique water synergy to defeat the fire. For their bravery, the Squirtle Squad are appointed official city firefighters. They have purpose. But as the main group leaves, the leader is missing. He has taken off his famous shades to show his joyful, tear-filled eyes. He wants to be a companion to Ash. Squirtle's history on the team is one of consistent reliability. He was the main reason Ash's team survived a blizzard by using his shell to provide shelter and warmth in an infamous group huddle. When the group was stranded on an island of giant Pokémon and could hear their Pokémon's thoughts, it was Squirtle who maintained complete, unwavering trust in Ash, reassuring the group he was coming back. As Charizard's rebellion shifted the spotlight, Squirtle actually fell behind, becoming more of a comedic figure than a top-tier threat. It was implied that seeing Charizard's transformation created a universal fear of evolution among the others. By the Orange Islands, Squirtle knew he needed a glow-up to maintain his position alongside a learning Charizard and a solar-beaming Bulbasaur. He learned Hydro Pump, became a major asset, and even earned the respect of an elite group of firefighting war turtles. Squirtle was a loyal soldier throughout Johto, but his connection to his roots was too strong. When they ran into the Squirtle Squad again, his friends admitted they desperately missed having him as a leader. After a firefighting competition, Squirtle realized his real calling wasn't being Ash's companion. It was returning to Kanto to save lives with his squad. Ash, once again placing his Pokemon's purpose above his own ambition, agreed. This wasn't a sad ending. It was a graduation. By the events of Pokemon Journeys, we see that Squirtle is a global celebrity, touring Kanto on a massive Power Ranger-style firefighting truck, beloved by all. He went from an abandoned hooligan to an idealized hero, all thanks to Ash believing in him. And that is the definitive history of Ash's original squad. This team wasn't perfect, It was defined by failure, trauma, rebellion, and a series of heartbreaking goodbyes. But it was that exact imperfection that forced Ash to grow from an ignorant 10-year-old into a true partner capable of winning on the grandest stage. Each one of them, whether by his side or serving a higher purpose, left an indelible mark on his soul. This is the foundation that built a champion. And if you enjoy this deep dive, make sure to check out more videos on the channel and see you in the next one. Bye.